Okay, so last year I decided I was going to embark on this YouTube adventure and I was going to release one video every single week for an entire year. And I wanted to see what was going to happen. I wanted to push myself to try and be creative in a different aspect of my life with video as opposed to just being a musician. I can't believe what happened. It's been a thrill to say the least. So let me tell you how it all got started. So if you haven't been to my channel before, guys, my name is Tommy Zamp. Thanks so much for checking this out. I play guitar in a Led Zeppelin tribute band called Get the Let Out. We tour all over the country and even Canada. And we do about 130 shows a year. And I really was like, man, I have an opportunity here to capture some really cool moments, some really cool memories. Me and my friends are traveling all over the country. We're playing huge venues. We're playing in front of huge crowds. We're playing really cool music. If you're not a fan of Led Zeppelin, I don't know. Hey man, to each his own, I suppose. But either way, I really wanted to take in these memories because sometimes you forget things or your brain, it can only hold so much information that I wanted to, for me, create these and have something to look back on and kind of be like, wow, man, it was really cool. We rented a boat on Lake Tahoe. Or, hey, man, this is my fourth time playing Red Rocks in Colorado. This is nuts. So that was the main goal of it, was to just remember things later on for future purposes. But also it started to, when I started filming things, and I started filming a lot of things leading up to me initially releasing the very first video, which was September 20th or 21st of last year, or something like that, of 2023. I wanted to record a lot of videos, put them in queue for schedule, because when I went out on tour, I was going to be gone for a month. And, editing, I didn't know how that was going to work. Bringing my computer, editing everything. I just wanted to kind of like forward progress it. So that's what I did. So I recorded, I don't know, I want to say like 12 videos, and I had them scheduled, which was going to give me like a 3-month lead time from when I released the first video until I needed to do it again, just because being on tour is chaotic. And if you're unfamiliar with that, please feel free to check out the tour vlogs on my channel and you'll see what I'm talking about. It also was, it turned into this thing where it was allowing fans of the band and the different players in the band to kind of get a different look at what we did and what we did on our days off. Like I mentioned, we rented a boat in Lake Tahoe, and I really started to have a lot of fun with this. I remember I even did, I snagged the theme song from Gilligan's Island, and I made a whole little intro for that video, and it was just something, stupid and fun that I thought was going to be hilarious. And if you have any kind of sense of humor, I think you'll find it funny too. That being said, I've heard from a lot of fans who've reached out and just said how much fun they're having watching these videos and the behind the scenes of the venues and and how the actual show is put together, from loading in on the stage, all the lights being put up, the backdrop being lifted and pulled down at the end of the night. It goes without saying we have an amazing crew. It's an amazing band, the crew, everyone that we work with. There's 14 people total in the entire thing. It's so much fun to sit back and like see how things are evolving, just from me being a goof and wanting to bring out a camera and capture some stuff. Now, it wasn't initially the easiest thing to do. I think the hardest thing for me getting into it was talking to a camera, was grabbing the camera, hitting record, and just trying to be myself. I went through a lot of, okay, I'm going to sit like this and I'm going to say, okay, guys, thank you so much for checking out my, it was like unnatural. It was stiff. And it's just not me. I was like, I had to figure out the best way to just have a conversation with you watching this right now. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to myself. And it took me a very long time to get comfortable enough to have a conversation with you and not have any response. That was what was the main kicker for me, is that I have no problem talking to people because you get something back when you have a conversation. You get, there's a push-pull thing there, that you can feed off of somebody's energy, you can read their body language, and in this case, there is just a lens and a camera. So that was, for me, my biggest thing to overcome. It wasn't the make notes, write out the script, make sure I have this all written out the right way. It was literally, how am I going to speak to a camera that doesn't make me come across like I'm trying too hard, I'm fake, I don't want to come across unnatural. So once I figured that out, the other thing that was a little odd was walking around with a camera, in front of my friends, in front of other people, stage crew, stuff like that. So that was always, even to this day, I still get a little anxious when I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go out there and do this. And, I know I'm going to look like a fool, but it comes with the territory. And I think at this point, it's 2024. If somebody hasn't seen somebody walking around speaking into a camera or talking into their phone, then they obviously have been living under a rock, because I feel like people do it in a grocery store. They're doing it in the dentist office. Look at me, I'm getting my molars filled. Like, everybody's talking to themselves, recording themselves. And I just think that the more you do it, the easier it all becomes. It's okay. It's my boy. That's Cliffy, and that's Norman. My boys came up to say hi. Hey, look at these guys. Huh? This is going to make this video go viral. These are my two favorite boys in the world. The reason I do this stuff, to buy them food and bones. That's all they want. Food, bones, and butt scratches. Oh, my dudes are so cool. Any other lab lovers out there? My boys are the best. I'm sure you think your boys or girls are the best too. Anyway, I digress. So let's talk about cameras and gear and microphones and all the stuff that you think you need, but you really don't. And here's why you don't need anything. Because this right here, your phone, has everything you need to get started. Don't worry about like, oh, I'm going to wait till I get the right camera. I want to wait till I get the right lens. Oh, I don't have any lights. I need the right microphone. All of those things, those are just excuses that are holding you back. It's like procrastination that's just like constantly coming in and telling you, well, why don't you go ahead and wait until you get this, or you can't really do that until you do this. And it's just, man, if you got an idea and you want to get into it, just use what you have. That being said, people ask me all the time, what am I using? It has changed a little bit. Within the year, I've actually, obtained a few more things because I wanted to get into it at first, and then I really wanted to see how I enjoyed it, and I didn't want to dump a lot of money into it at first. I was like, I'm just going to capture a little bit here and a little bit there, and I'm going to see how this goes. So before I started recording anything for YouTube, I was kind of like putting together like quick reels and stuff for social media. And I bought a GoPro. That's what I used. I bought a GoPro and I edited some stuff together, and the audio, the live audio in the video, I thought was great. I was able to use it and make posts like this. Quick little snippets of capturing a moment that you can use on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, that sort of thing. I enjoyed that GoPro so much. My buddy Terry Fashing actually was the one who turned me on to the GoPro. So then I bought another one, and then I had two in different parts of the stage, and I was able to capture that. And I had my first camera that I got was the Sony ZV-1, hailed as Sony's point and shoot vlogger camera. That was it. Just capture the moment all in one, and it's great. I still use it. It's actually out of frame, but it's right here on its stand of its own. I got a little Rode microphone for it, and that's what I was using for a very long time. The two GoPros and the Sony ZV-1. I have since upgraded to the Sony ZV-E10, and I got the lens for it is the PZ1020, something like that. I'll put links to everything that I have in the description below if that's something that you want to go ahead and pick up. I also got a pretty slamming Rode microphone for it, which is what you're hearing right now, and I got a side monitor. All of this stuff you don't need right off the bat. I don't even really need it now. It just does make things a little bit easier for me to, work with the ISO and get the lighting correct. So I'm not constantly in the dark or I'm whitewashed out and all that stuff. And right here I have a light. It's a softbox light. I'll post the links below in the description. But you don't need anything to get started because you can do it all on your phone. The audio and the video on this phone, it's so spectacularly good. It's ridiculous. Case in point, my video, which you can watch right here, the sound check video at Red Rocks, I shot it on the phone. I captured the whole thing. I walked around with my phone. I talked into it. I walked backstage. I walked on stage. I set the phone in front of us on stage, captured some songs, and then I walked off stage talking to it. And that was it. There's hardly any edits to it. I mean, it was two parts. One was like 23 minutes, and I edited it down a couple minutes here and there. And then because it was directly in the sun, my phone overheated and cut off the second half of soundcheck. So then I hit record and I did the outro part of the video. That was it. I hit record twice on that phone, and it worked. And that has 17,000 views as of right now on YouTube, which is pretty insane. All on a video, all on my iPhone. That's it. So these things that you get in your head that you got to have this X, Y, and Z. All you got to have is you and a phone to get going. Take your ideas and run with it. So as far as my gear goes, I also use Final Cut Pro to do all of my video editing. I was using iMovie for probably the first 4 or 5 months, and then I started to I did a trial version. I was able to get a trial version of Final Cut Pro, and man, I just found it to be so much easier and faster. Very similar, so it wasn't like a completely different learning curve. And I really just found it to be easy. It's easy to use, easy to understand. Some of the quick overlays, the titles. I just like the ease and the quickness of the program better than iMovie. Would I still use iMovie if I was starting off? Absolutely. I would have, because it's free. It's on your Mac. If you don't have a Mac, I don't use PCs. I don't know what the alternative for you could be. But if you're doing anything on a Mac, iMovie, it's free, and that's what I use to get going. So I finally got monetized, right? That's probably why you clicked on this link. So let's get into the monetization. YouTube has like different, I guess I'll call them tiers. There's like the first tier, and then there's a top tier. They changed the requirements like last year or 2 years ago to make it a little easier for people to get going on it. If you can get 500 subscribers and you upload 3 videos within 90 days, and then within a year you get 3,000 watched hours on like long form videos like you're watching now, or 3 million views on like a short, the vertical 60-second or less structure of YouTube, kind of like Instagram Reels, if you will. If you get 3 million views of those within the year, then you meet those requirements. I didn't go into the short game. I wasn't hitting the shorts very hard at first. And a couple of videos I had, actually one that I did talking about changing the strings on a wraparound tailpiece SG that I have, that generated a lot of views in like 3 days. And then I was like, oh my goodness, that's how I'm going to approach this, so I can keep hitting these little milestones till I get to the top tier. And I think that one got me like 600 watched hours from one video. And I was like, whoa, that's incredible. Now, not every video did that well. The shorter the video, if I was releasing like, oh, here's a version that we did in Detroit of X enter song name. It was like 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Okay, well, that got me 6 watched hours after, so many hundreds of views. And that's really kind of where I was at for a while. I was getting between 300 to 600 views. And depending on how long the video was, I started to notice that determined the watched hours. Like, even if the video was just over the 10-minute mark, 11, 12 minutes, I started to realize that I was getting far more watched hours accumulated with that video than I was with a shorter video, more concise, straight to the point, bang, 4 minutes, out the door. That's all you need. So I don't know if it has something to do with the algorithms that YouTube has, that they like seeing longer formatted videos, longer form, but I definitely noticed a change. So once you get the 500 and the 3,000 watched hours, you're eligible for super chats, YouTube shopping. You can put your links up there, which there's kind of if you have your own external website for like a shopping site, you can post that link in your description now to kind of get yourself going a little bit sooner than you don't have to follow. There's nothing wrong with it. You can post the links in your description to anything. Trying to get people to buy some stuff off of Amazon is at no extra cost to them, and you get a little commission from being Amazon associate or something like that, whatever it's called. Just sign that up, and in your description you can put those in those too, and you don't have to hit any requirements. It's just part of your description. So, but if you want your actual store on YouTube, that's one of the things that come with that first tier, as well as like super chats and live streaming. People can, super chat you, send you thanks, stickers, stuff like that. And that's an extra way for people to show their appreciation for your channel and kind of help you continue on and support your channel and support you and what you're doing. Then the final tier, where you're like, well, I want to, how much money do you make from watched ads? How much money am I going to make when the Geico commercial comes up? That all varies. And it actually varies depending on what your content is associated with. Like, if your videos are all about finance, there's somehow you'll make more money than somebody who is like, Bob Ross 2.0. I'm painting pictures over here. It doesn't pay the same. So there's different. I don't really understand how that all works yet. I'm still learning. So if you have any input on that, please, you can let me know in the comments below. But at this point, I'm just excited to be here. I'm just excited to have this channel finally monetized after a year of going after it and sticking to my goal. So, but before I digress, the top tier requirements are 1,000 subscriptions and 4,000 watched hours or 10 million short views. So, again, as I previously stated, I didn't really go after the shorts on YouTube. I'm kind of getting into that now, and it's a lot of like editing that I wasn't really hip to. And now I'm kind of figuring out an easier way to kind of go after it. I finally hit the 4,000 watched hours, and then it takes a little bit. You got to sign up for Adsense through Google, and they're going to send you some verification requirements. You're going to fill out a W-9. You're going to type in your information, and once all of that's taken care of and you get approved, then they snail mail you a letter with a PIN number on it to verify your address and everything else, and that takes a couple of weeks. So you can sign up for Google AdSense prior to you meeting all of your full top tier requirements, 1,000 subs, 4,000 watched hours, or however you're trying to reach it. But once you get there, if you've already signed up for it and you have everything, it kind of makes the next few steps just go a little bit quicker, so you can just kind of get going. But it's not like you're going to miss out. They don't not start accumulating funds, and you're not going to miss out on money if you don't do it right away, because once you hit those requirements and you're signed into it, that's it. So they pay you once a month, and every month they'll send you the money however you have it set up. And there's no sense of urgency as far as like, oh, if I don't get this done today, I'm not going to make any money. Well, that's really not the way it works. I suggest there's plethora of information out there. I would reference TubeBuddy.com a lot. I'll leave a link in the description. A lot of really helpful information. Also, there's links onto how to set up your AdSense via that website and everything else, and you can read it and do your own research. I did find it super helpful, and now that I'm finally monetized, I kind of look back on it just to double check and go, okay, did I do everything right? YouTube sends you emails. They make sure they're not going to let something fall by the wayside. They follow up. They send you an email. Hey, we sent you this. Be on the lookout. If you don't have it within 3 weeks, let us know and we'll send it to you again. And I'm sure they'll send emails being like, hey, we sent this to you a month ago. You still haven't done it. We need this to verify that X, Y, and Z. YouTube is a lot of fun. If you're making videos about something that you enjoy, if it's something that you like, man, it just makes things a lot easier. And it's true what everyone always says, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? It's a nice phrase. I love what I do. I play guitar for a living. I travel all over the world. The being on stage part isn't the work. The playing music isn't the work. It's like there's an interview that Keith Richards said, I don't get paid to go out on stage and play my guitar. I get paid to sit in an airport for 4 hours waiting on my delayed flight. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. Like, oh, this is my job. Playing music, I'll do that all day long, man. That's what I love to do. That's what I do here in my studio. I record songs for people. I record tracks for singer-songwriters. A buddy of mine's a producer. He's like, hey, if you got time next week, lay down a few tracks on this song and send it back to me. I'm like, okay, you got it. So when I'm not on the road, I'm in here playing guitar. It's never work. It's what I love to do it. Now that I'm making videos and I'm putting some of this stuff out there, I really do hope that whether this video inspires you to get into YouTube or make videos on your own, I hope it does. But if it doesn't, I'm still going to do it because I enjoy it, you know? So if you decide to get into it, the only thing that I would say is find that thing that you like to do. Find your niche. Find something that is unique to you. And even if it's, take for instance, playing guitar, the way you play a G chord could be different than the way somebody else does. You know why? Because it's the way you do things. It's the way you do it. Don't sit there and go, oh, I don't want to make these videos about this stuff that I love because there's so many people out there making the same videos. That's just another procrastination getting in the way of you having a good time. So that's my 2 cents. Go out there, do it. Hit the ground running. If this is what you want to do, I say, man, hit like and subscribe on my video and then get going. So that's another thing that I keep forgetting to do, and you really should. And how do you get more subscribers? Ask them. Say, hey, thanks so much for watching my video. Hit that like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. It really helps me out, helps out the channel, helps out what I'm doing here, and it's a great way, it's a free way to support what I'm doing. Copy and paste that phrase and use it in all your videos. So there you have it. That is my YouTube adventure story. I'm super thrilled. I know I keep looking this way, but it's my window is right here, and there's like birds and stuff flying around, and it's like visually distracting to my eye. I keep looking out. There's a squirrel running across the roof of my neighbor's house right now. And anyway, I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm so thankful that you're watching this. Thank you guys, everybody who helped me achieve my goal of hitting my full tier of 1,000 subscribers, getting all my watched hours in. I'm able now to have memberships and super chats, and I'm still working on figuring out how I want to go about doing all of this. But the adventure continues, my friends. The adventure continues, and I'm so thrilled that you guys are here with me, and we're doing this together. So I'm going to continue releasing a video every single week. That's my goal, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I don't anymore. I don't really have any plans other than I like doing this. I'm having fun with it, and I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. So, as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be kind to each other. Nothing but peace and love. I'll see you guys in the next video.